At the railroad, where I volunteer a few hours a week, of course they have rails. And to change rails, they also have switches. And when the railroad is not in use, of course it's always better to lock these things to prevent people from tampering with it. And that's why we use this kind of pins. It's a lock in two parts, and of course this pin goes in the hole here. And then of course this thing is locked with a key. But over the years a lot of these keys are lost. Now, this is a very simple part. This is just a pin with a groove in it and grease. Put it here, and inside this thing, of course, here goes the pin in, and in the groove fits this little screw with one side, I don't know what, thread, and here, we'll keep it closer, is a triangular shape. One of the few keys left is this one, but as you can see, the handle is broken. And use it as is not really easy, because we need pliers and it doesn't fit very well in a pocket. So the railroad people asked me if I want to make new. Of course. And luckily I still have this thing here, my workshop. And to video it, of course, I wanted to fit the pin in here. And that's where I see that in fact it doesn't fit. So my key projects become also a make an adapted lock project. The problem is of course that first I promised, yes, I will make new keys. And then I thought, how the hell do you make a triangular shape in a piece of something? My first idea was to use a little steel block, for example, square, rectangular, whatever. And then on top here, cut the V shape. And when this thing has more or less the right dimensions, just very simple, weld another piece on top of it. And then finding the center, which is not hard to do with a center, put it in the lathe and make it circular. How hard can it be? And as you can see, I already started without you, because I thought this is a simple little project, not really worth making video about it. But maybe it can give some ideas to someone to make something else, so let's make a video about it. And this is what I came up with, my little block, of course, 30 degrees, and another one that I can weld on top, put the life center here in the middle, and then make it circular. After making these two little parts, I stopped, because I think to make one key, okay, it will work and it will be even almost unbreakable, but it's a lot of work. And I would like to make, for example, 8 or 10 keys. I will see, just a handful of keys. So this plan, not gonna do. Take this away. And then I had idea number 2. I bought a piece of 10mm pipe. This is thin wall pipe. And if I can, instead of keep it round, make it triangular shape, that this thing fits in here, maybe that could work. And then of course cut it off and make some kind of handle. This will be a lot easier. Right, it's time, I think, to experiment a bit. I have my pipe and I'm gonna use the little block I made previously for making these keys for something completely different. Now I'm gonna use it as a form tool. At first I wanted to hammer it in place, but I have a press Let's use this one. It squeezes. I think that for a first try, this is a great success. Look at this. It's just that these three lines, they are not straight, while squeezing, of course, is bending a bit. Okay, it's not bad, but I think we can do better. If I make something, a plug, with the shape of this, that I put in here, and then squeeze it, of course the three lines, the three surfaces will be straight, they can't go too far. And there is more. I think it will be easier working if I pre-cut them to length. Small part to hold, and then this little block here has to be fixed in place, because now it's always moving, it's lifting. This doesn't work very well. Let's find something better. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Let's take this one away. In this bottom plate are two mounting holes. If I install this piece of scrap, there's already one hole in here. Of course, drill the other one, and then I weld this little block on here. No more movement. I think this will work just fine. And I found in my pile of useful junk this little piece of round. Of course, again, leftover of another project, I suppose. And this will be perfect to give it this shape. Over to the milling machine. Almost. I think this will fit very well if I cut off a little bit these corners here, just like on the original one. Let's do. I had to make a new one because the first one too small, so piece of scrap. And the new one much better. But now there is a new little problem. The idea is of course to put my little part here in the pipe and then push it to a stop right here in the back, and then squeeze it, and then I have 3 times the same length here. But because of the thickness of this shank, of course it's not gonna work, because I'm pushing on my little form tool and not on the pipe. That's stupid. The wall thickness of my pipe is 1 millimeter, and the height on the rim here, between the flat and the circle, is 2 millimeter. Which means if I reduce my part here, the little shank on this side, to leave a maximum height of 1 millimeter here. Maybe that could work. I think this will be much better. Right, let's first try to shape this thing here in shape that I already started. Oh, it's on the floor. Nope. I think this part here is still too big. Let's make it smaller. And this should be it, normally. Right, I cut off a little piece of pipe in the length that I want this future key to be. And this thing should fit tightly in here. Let's use a little bit of violence. Just on the seam. Test. It's not perfect, but a little touch of file will camouflage it. Now it's maybe time to start thinking making a little handle on this thing. And I have this very nice little piece of flat bar that I also bought. And if I make a groove in here, some kind of slit, and then slide a piece in here, maybe that could work. Man, that's primitive. My first idea, of course, to hold this little handle in place, was to drill it and then make some kind of rivet to hold it together. But if I rivet a little bit too much, this pipe is gonna squeeze and that's not gonna work. And it's also gonna take a lot of time to make, for example, 10 of these. But I think I have found a much quicker solution. Alright. And after a little touch of belt sander, it looks like this. Now, It needs a little bit more cleanup, of course, but this is just a concept. It's to see if it works. And I think it does. Now that I know that my system of making these little keys will work just fine, let's make something that looks more or less like this, but of course adapted to the other switch handle. And to do so, I will use this pile of useful things. But first, this week I received a sticker from Matt in the UK from a YouTube channel Tea and Biscuits. And Matt, he loves to play with models, and he also made a very cute little scrapyard dog. So check out his channel. The link is of course as always in description. And Matt, as you can see, your sticker is already on the cheap door. In this part here, there is an awful lot of pitting, but I hope it's gonna disappear when I bring it to size. It was violent. Man, that's deep. And this is where we are so far. And I also made the little cap and of course installed the bolt, gave it a triangular shape as you can see, and it seems to work just fine. All that's left to do now is to weld a little piece of pipe here on this side. Alright, and after a little bit of cleanup, it looks like this. Of course, this little piece of pipe is only meant that you cannot go too easily in here with pliers to open it. Now, I don't think there's many tourists walking around with pliers in their pockets, but you never know. And I think the moment has come to give it a try on the switch handle. It works!